I am Frazierhughes.com, and welcome back to the Hughes It or Lose It radio show. Why? Because everybody's got an opinion. I mean, if you don't believe me, just ask someone for an opinion, and they're definitely going to give it to you. I mean, that's why I've got over 75,000 views for my 400 videos on YouTube, which I like to have more. I mean, gosh, I should have at least 75,000 views for one video, right? Tell me what I'm doing wrong. Check me out. Subscribe to me on YouTube. That's Frazierhughes.com on YouTube. The easiest way to connect with me, right? Twitter, Hughes or Lose. Facebook.com/FrazierHughes. You can also go to HughesItOrLoseIt.com. Click on the social media tab. Foursquare, LinkedIn, Pinterest, YouTube, Twitter. I'm all over the place. Well, when it comes to relationships, you know, it can be kind of difficult, especially when you're dating somebody that lives far away. And anytime I hear of a couple that lives far away from each other that are dating, I feel for them. I know there's got to be a huge challenge. I mean, even if it's, you know, an hour away to 6 hours away, maybe across the country. And I did this when I got into radio up in Radford. I was on 100.7 The Buzz. I was doing a morning show, had moved from Atlanta, Georgia, and I would drive every other Friday back down to Atlanta to see my girlfriend. Every other Friday, I'd get off the radio, drive down to Atlanta, get there around 4 or 5 o'clock. It takes about 6 hours from Radford. And spend the weekend and then come back that Sunday night. I always felt, you know, kind of depressed coming back that Sunday night because I missed her. I was coming back to Radford, Virginia from Atlanta, Georgia. Needless to say, this relationship did not work out, and you know, there were other things involved, but we did make it work. We stayed in touch with each other, and I think you can make a long distance relationship work. But what happens if you've been in a long distance relationship and you decide to move in together? Well, in the studio with me, over 80 years old and still rocking, he's going to give us his feedback. My grandfather, Grandpa Huey. Good evening, Grandpa.
Well, good evening to you, Fraser, and it's good to be here.
How's your Sunday been?
It's been very good. Went to Walmart, got some groceries. Met with my friend Pete and his wife Wilma. We got breakfast this morning. Went walking. I feel good and I look good. I wish I could say the same for you. I mean, you've got a face for radio.
Hey, thanks, Grandpa. I really appreciate that. So, we've got steps here on living together after you've been far apart. Maybe you lived together before, but you guys have been 6 hours from each other. It's been a long distance relationship, or maybe you met online and you're deciding to move in together. Here are some steps that you should think about before moving in together. Grandpa, go ahead with step one.
Well, assess the situation beforehand together. Talk about living together often before you actually do it. I mean, obviously, visiting each other in your faraway respective homes does not reflect the everyday life you will have together. If you do have chances to visit, be aware of the little things that characterize your home and the home of your partner. What are the things you find endearing? What are the differences?
Yeah, I mean, just because you all have not lived together in a while, or maybe it's been a long-distance relationship, you met online, either way, and you're visiting each other, it does not mimic the same habits. You know, does he leave his toothbrush out too much? Does she not clean up enough? Things like that. Number two, be realistic. You know, of course you've been waiting to be together for a long time, and many conversations, you know, start out like this. When we live together, we will all the time. That's going to be so cool. Try to lose the rose-colored glasses and be aware that some things might annoy you about each other's habits or preferences. And this is completely normal. I mean, just like many other couples, you'll be out of sorts. You'll be able to sort it out together. Just don't expect your cohabitation to be totally different because you're looking forward to it so much.
Step number 3, make a list of things that are important to you. That's a list. Rank them in order of their priority. Try not to include more than 3 to 5 must-haves on your list, and no, not at all possibilities. Ask your partner to make a list as well. Then go over your list together with an open mind. Be prepared to compromise. Your partner might be willing to compromise on something they're not too keen on, like having dinner on a table that's really big. So be willing to compromise as well. It's a give and take.
Yeah, like, I mean, that might sound kind of dumb, but you might have this huge dining room table you really like, and, you know, your partner's like, hey, we're not going to eat. That table's way too big. Number 4, take care of the paperwork first. You know, make sure all of the bureaucratic issues are taken care of if you're an international couple.
Yeah, I mean, if she's in France and you're in Egypt, you've got to take care of business.
Yeah, your partner might need a residency permit or a green card. Research all of the information on the website of your country's Ministry of Foreign Affairs. And, you know, if both of you are planning to live together in a country that is foreign to the both of you, make sure you have all the necessary documents and valid passports well in advance.
Number 5, be aware of each other's personal living style. You know, you mentioned before, Fraser, is your girlfriend clean? Does he leave out the toothbrush? You know, being a neat freak. Or are you very OCD about having the house clean? If you have completely different styles, try to make arrangements that can accommodate both of you with not being stifling. There's no point pretending you're effortlessly neat if you're not going to be neat. This is only dishonest and going to foil the relationship.
Yeah, I mean, you go over to that person's house and you pretend to be nice and clean and neat all of the time when you visit, but then when they come over, you're a hacker-at. Number 6, look forward to being together. You know, all the practical things will have to be adjusted as you go along, but your appreciation for the physical closeness of having your partner around is going to be rewarding. I mean, keep your communication as open as it was when you're apart. I mean, don't expect anything to clear up all by itself. However, you know, address issues that bother you before you get too agitated. Be calm, clear, and non-accusatory in your discussions.
Number 7, be patient and understanding with each other. Of course, each of you has dreamed about this moment and has envisioned it differently. Strive to reconcile your ideas and remember that moving in together takes work and a phase of adjustment for any couple, not just you.
And last but not least, number 8, when moving day is here, celebrate the happy occasion together however it feels right to you. So these have been some steps for you moving in with your partner after having a long-distance relationship.
Go over the statistics, Fraser.
Okay, the statistics for a long-distance relationship. Pretty interesting here. Total percentage of U.S. marriages that are considered long-distance relationships, people married already, 2.9%. So that margin is pretty low. The average amount of time for a long-distance relationship to break up if it's not working out, 4.5 months. Total percentage of long-distance relationships that fall when changes aren't planned for, 70%. 14 million of you, that's 14 million Americans have said, hey, I've been in a long-distance relationship. Right now, 32% of Americans are in long-distance relationships. And total percentage of long-distance relationships that actually people break up, 4 out of 10. I mean, it's not easy.
Absolutely, it's not easy. That's why, you know, you got to work on things.
Total percentage of engaged couples that have been in long-distance relationships, 75% of people are engaged right now. So, you get engaged, haven't lived together. I mean, it's similar to being, close, living in the same town, but you've got some work to do because you haven't been up close and personal at that person's house. Total amount of marriages that are long-distance relationships. Check this out. 3.75 million Americans are married right now in long-distance relationships, which I find very difficult. How far do these people live away from each other? Well, the average mileage is 125 miles apart for long-distance relationships in the United States. The average times couples visit each other per month, 1.5. That's it. 1.5 times per month. So I mean, you're getting ready to move in together. I mean, that's not much. The average amount of time in between phone calls. Say, hey, I'll call her almost every 3 days. It's 2.7.
Where do they get the statistics of 2.7?
I have no idea. The average amount of letters written to each other per month. I had no idea people still wrote each other letters. 3. I mean, that's a great way to give attention to your partner. Write a letter, even if you're not in a long-distance relationship. And the average amount of time expected to be separated before a long-distance relationship couple can move in together, 14 months. 14 months. So I hope these statistics and steps helped you this evening. Thanks for your feedback, Grandpa, and helping me with this.
Well, Fraser, you need all the help you can get, you darn jackass.
All right, thank you so much, and thanks for listening tonight. Hey, what's your Hughes it or lose it? I want to know. Email me, Frazierhughes.com at gmail.com. You can connect with me. Go to HughesItOrLoseIt.com. Click on the social media tab. LinkedIn, Facebook, Foursquare. Follow me on YouTube. Hit me up on Twitter at Hughes or Lose. I'm Frazierhughes.com. This has been the Hughes It or Lose It radio show. Why? Because everybody's got an opinion with me and right here on Fox Radio 910. Until next time, do me a favor. Yeah, I'm talking to you. Take a shower.